Welcome to section number 4 on being able to change colors while inside. So you'll notice that the M is blue and that the background is actually more of like a vibrant peachy color. It's really great. Now I didn't have to have just 2 colors. I could have done a lot more. Remember that the more colors you do within your pattern, the more complicated it gets when it comes to doing the bobbins. Now my way that I like to do the best is the bobbin technique, where the yarn is actually changing instead of being carried through. What do I mean by that? You will notice that some Graphghans, the actual yarn, so the peach will be carried behind the blue, and it actually be trapped. And what happens is if you get too close to this thing, you'll notice that the peach, especially because it's so bright, will start bleeding through the blue, which kind of ruins the whole look of what you're going for. So if you like clean lines, very strong presentation, the bobbin technique is the way to go. Within this section I'm going to teach you how to be able to change your colors, because you will notice that this is actually amazing on both sides. So if you have an image such as a teddy bear and etc., it wouldn't matter which side of the Afghan that you're looking at, because of the bobbin technique is going to produce a really great look. This is the color changing section, and what we have in this is 5 major lessons all wrapped up into this lesson as a whole. Lesson number 1, we're going to be learning on how to add the bobbins. Lesson number 2, what happens when you're finished a color and you need to end a bobbin, how to do that really seamlessly. Lesson number 3 is how to move the colors of the yarn. So we have, for example, we have the yarn color here. This is like regular colors. This is our special bobbin. How to move the yarns up so that it's all seamless. Lesson number 4, we're going to be learning on how to change the yarn color. So if we're coming along and it's before, so if we come along here and all of a sudden you see the same color that is over here, how do you do that without any lines showing in order to do that? And it also happens here with the main color, and that will be lesson number 4. Lesson number 5 are ways of changing the color after the row. So for example, we come along here and we have all the solid color. This is our regular, the white. We're gonna come along and all of a sudden we have to change the color here, but you can see that the yarn is ended here. I'm gonna show you how to be able to hide the yarn here and be able to start here, and that is also same applying up here. So let's get started on lessons 1 through 5. In lesson number 1, I'm going to show you how to add on bobbins. So you can see in the row below there's nothing there, and the colors that we want are starting in the next row. This is no different from a regular grafting pattern where you have nothing on the bottom and all of a sudden we're going to start. In this particular lesson I'm going to show you how to add on a bobbin so it's seamless. So I'm going to follow the same instruction. So I'm going to go 4 box spaces, so 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we're going to change on the 5th and go the remaining, and I'll show you how to do that. So without further ado, let's get started and I'll show you that first. So honoring this chart, we have to go 4 spaces and then the color starts, but we have to watch what we're doing on the project in order to make that happen. So we're going to start the row and we're just gonna chain up first, and we are going to single crochet into the first one just like so. Now what I want to do, that counts as one of them there, so I only have 3 more to go, but I don't want to finish the final 3 ones. So let's just do the second one is normal, the third one is normal, and the 4th one to match is partially normal. So we're gonna stick in our hook and pull the yarn out, but we're gonna stop. We're not gonna go any further, and we're gonna shift this yarn forward. So bring that yarn forward just like so, and what I want you to do is grab on a secondary color. So whatever color that you want to do. So you want to leave an extra long tail because you're going to use a darning needle at the end to sew in that project so that it's really well hidden so it never falls out. You don't want any slip knots here, so don't put one. So you're just going to take the yarn and just simply make a big loop like so. Okay, so there's no ties or anything. I want you to take that loop and pull it through like that. And so that finished off that number 4, but what happens is that this yarn is now ready to go for the next 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So what we have to do is that this yarn we need to pull forward before we begin anything else. We are now going to take the string that is the end piece and just pull it forward as well, so it's out of your way. So pull both of them forward out of your way. You're immediately gonna come into the next stitch starting with the new yarn. So you're just gonna pull through and just do a single crochet. At this time what I want you to do is just tug on these, make them snug, but don't over tighten them because then it'll change the tension of your project. So that's 1 out of the 5. So we have the next one. So we have 2, 3, 4, and 5. But 5, it's going to go to a different color at the end. Okay, there's nothing there. So I don't want to finish number 5. I want to grab another yarn. So I'm just going to grab another one, just make a big loop again, just a long straggler, and just pull up through that loop and put the straggler in front. Take the blue, or sorry, the green yarn that we worked with, also bring it forward. Whenever you're changing colors, these yarn strings must come forward before you begin anything else. And what we're just gonna do then is we're just gonna single crochet into the next one. See how loose that is? So I want to take these strings and just tighten it up a little bit like so, and just single crochet for the remainder of the line. For tutorial reasons I'm gonna turn around and at the end of this line when I get to the end. So I'm gonna turn around, and so when you turn around all of these strings will be on the back side, which is what we wanted. So you will not see any strings. Look how clean that looks. So what we want to do at this point is that I want to continue along. So this is how you're going to join on a string. So in the next part of section number 3 I'm going to show you how to be able to move the yarn colors up, but the next section I'm going to show you how to fasten all the bobbins off. So once you're done with these colors, how do you get rid of them at the end? Welcome to lesson number 2. Lesson number 2 is how to finish off these bobbins. So for example, say that we're done these colors, how do we finish off? We're simply just going to finish them off as normal. And what is normal? We're just going to single crochet just like so, and I'm ready now to change. So say this brown was completely done, I'm ready to change it over to green. So still move it forward. Okay, we're not quite done with that yet, and we're gonna take the green and we're going to being able to start the next one just like so. And so you're basically going to single crochet the remaining. So let me finish off the green. So say the green is done. So I'm gonna do this all at the same time. Again, move it forward, and I'm gonna pull through and then start the blue. So now you have 2 strings that are coming forward, and what are you gonna do with these things? So all you just need to do is just cut yourself an extra long length like so, and I'm gonna cut both of the green and the brown, and all you're just going to do at this point is grab a darning needle at this point, and you can do this at the end of the project if you're more comfortable, and do it all at one time. The yarn string should never fall out on you anyway in this when you're actually working on it just like so. But what you want to do is that you want to just bury the yarn into the actual same line. So you want to actually go into the fibers itself of the stitch. Okay, so you just don't go into gapping spaces, and go in 3 times. This will permanently lock it into position. And voila, you can safely now cut this at the actual project itself right down to the wick, and you will never have that pop out just like so. So this is how you would be able to finish off a bobbin, so you can continue to do other colors on top of it, but it's a really easy process in order to do. So these are the strings that are coming from the start of the bobbin, and you basically we have 2 sets of strings because we had the green and the brown. So all I'm just going to do to hide these in, now you could have done a slip knot. I wouldn't recommend it because you want a flat surface, you want it to make it look good. And what you have to be very careful is that when you go to do this section, you're just gonna take the darning needle and slide under the same color fibers that is the starting of what you started, and you want to pass through it 3 times. So when you pull that first one, don't over pull it because you're gonna see a gapping space if you do so. So you're gonna come back in the same direction, going into a slightly different area, again burying into the fibers like so, and then you want to go one more time. When you go a total of 3 times back and forth, the project can never move in 3 different directions to come loose on you, therefore they'll be permanently into position. Then what you can just do, now that you've done it 3 times, you can just simply trim your work right at the actual project itself, and you never have to worry about that falling out. And that's how you you would do a fastening on, a bobbin, and actually taking care of the starting area. This is lesson number 3, where we're going to carry the yarn so they're sitting on top of each other. So for example, say you have in the D shape that we have on the back of the D, you can see that all of this whole section, the boxes all line up with each other. There's nothing really to worry about. This is what it would look like. So this is another color, and basically the boxes are just sitting on top of each other. This tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do this using this sample. So let's begin. Essentially, if I was looking at a graph, I would say, okay, all the boxes are matching each other, so I'm not even gonna show you a graph on that. Just what I want you to do is that I want you to match all 3 colors together as you hit them. So to start off a row, we're just gonna chain 1 first, and then single crochet into the first one. And I want you to single crochet all the way till where you see the green, but I do not want you to finish the final single crochet. It's just like how we started the bobbins. So we're gonna single crochet into the next one, and I'm not counting or anything. I don't need to. I'm just visually looking for it. And basically the next one is where I want to do the color change. So I'm going to insert my hook, pull the yarn through, pull this yarn forward. Okay, this yarn must come forward before you do anything, and reach around the back, and that is where the string is for where you were doing the bobbin change. Okay, and that's the string that we want to use. So we're just gonna immediately pick it up and use it to finish off this stitch. Therefore this string is now ready to go for the remaining. So the first one is the green, so we're just gonna use the green. And before I continue, let's just snug this up, make sure it's good. This is going to the brown yarn bobbin, and I want to match up the green. Okay, so once I got one more green left, I'm gonna come in, pull through, but I don't want to finish it. Pull this yarn forward, reach around the back, and get the blue that's going to the bobbin. And then pull that yarn through to finish that. Pull the green snug and begin to single crochet. So the trick is that when you're going to change your yarn colors and they're just doing regular stuff, they're just sitting on top of each other, you have to make sure you pull these strings forward. So if you turn your work, these strings here are for the when we casted or when we started. I have not yet buried those into the project. That's why you're seeing those. So right now, if I was to redo this again, so I chain up 1, and you can speed up. So you're going to match exactly what you see. So there's only 4 of these blue. So we go into the final one, but we don't finish it. Pull forward, grab the green from behind, and finish it. Pull everything snug, and then do the green. And you're just matching everything that you see. Okay, so the next one is going to turn over here, is going to turn brown. So I want to finish do this one, but do not finish it. Pull forward, grab the brown from behind, finish it, and then just continue along. And that'd be how you were just moving yarn just straight up from each other, because we have 2 other lessons where what happens is if the yarn is actually bouncing and changing different lengths, and I'm gonna be showing you that next. In lesson number 4, we're going to experience on how to change the colors as if they were before the actual change. So for example, you see that these 4 boxes are all the darker color, and we come all the way across, and then we change over to the main color that we're doing. We come up and then come back across, and all of a sudden we need from this color all the way to start over here. How do you do that without hiding it? Now on my example that I have, I've actually purposely made an error so that you can see this is what happens on your project is if you're not careful. So if I start, for example, the white was started over here, and I just pick it up like this, you're going to have these god-awful lines going on in your project. Now on one side you won't even see that happening. This is a different row, the ones that you see here, but in the row that is normal, you will see on the other side it's not so normal. So see where that blue line is? So one side it'll appear perfect, and the other side it will not, because the yarn was carried up when we did that. Today on this one we're going to show you how to change these colors when it's actually before the color change. So it's before. So we have to pull this all the way to start here and then pick up. And just for clarity, when you see stuff like this going up on a diagonal, this is what happens when you start it before. So for example, you can see that this color here was here, but when we came back you will see that it was shifted over 2. So this is a relevant lesson on being able to carry your yarn. So let's begin to do work on this sample, and my goal for this is to get this green to appear over here sooner. So let's just crochet for the first 2. So the 1 and 2. I'm not gonna finish the second one because I want to pull the green over, and I'm going to show you it the wrong way first so that you understand. So I'm gonna just start this, and I'm just gonna immediately pull this yarn forward like I should, and immediately just pick up the green and then just pull it over like this. And I'm just going to use the next and just go into the next single crochet as normal, making sure I pull things snug if it is loose at any point, and I'm just going to continue to single crochet. So I'm doing it wrong at this point, and in actual fact I did one whole project like this without realizing I was doing it wrong, and I'm just saying to myself, okay, I'm following the graph, no big deal, and it looks perfect. So you have nothing to worry about. It's not until you turn it around where you see it's not perfect. Look at that line. See, it's just sitting on top. So whenever you're starting a color change and it's prior to the color that is already sitting, so unless I was changing the color right where I was doing it before, you are going to see these lines. Now earlier on in the project I showed down here, this is a mistake. I did it on purpose just to show you, and what's happened is that I've not buried in that yarn string in order to hide it well, and you can see I've done it several times. So let's reverse out our work and let me show you how to do it properly. So let me show you how to do it properly, and what we're going to do is that I'm ready for the green and I'm gonna pull my yarn forward. Now the trick is that I do want to pull this yarn up over top and pull it through the stitch. So I want to do that, and I want to make sure that this is not too tight nor too loose. I want it just to sit there and float. And all I'm just going to do is that I'm going to go into the next stitch that's available, so that's what you know, but this time what I want you to do is go into that stitch, make sure that this string is on top of the hook, and this is going to bury it. So you're just gonna go around and single crochet. Every time that you do a color change like this and it's prior to where the color is already sitting, you need to bury in this string so it's not showing. So you're just gonna single crochet into the next, make sure that color is on top so it's being part of the stitch, and single crochet as normal. You want to do it right until you get to that regular color. So I want to continue to keep that on top. And now here's the one right before. So this one you may question it and you're thinking, okay, well it's gonna look okay, it's going up on an angle. You are going to see that. So you want to come in like this, and you want to make sure that that string is still on top, even the one before, to make it work. And then once you're to the green, you continue as normal. So now you have the perfect color change right here. You don't see any string being carried along, but turn it over, you don't see it there either. So that's how you do it. So let's review one more time. So let's do it with the blue. So I'm gonna move my green forward, and I'm gonna pick up my blue, and I'm gonna pull it over. Okay, and now it's just, so now I have to insert my hook and make sure that that floating string is on top of the hook. I'm just gonna single crochet around it, including the one that is right before. So don't over skip it like this. Make sure you catch it as you're going. So you're not only gonna have the stitch, but you're gonna have the yarn carry over, and just single crochet as normal. So now you can see that it looks perfect on this side, and let me just finish this row, and when I turn it around it looks perfect on the other side. So that's how you would do a carryover when changing the color prior to the color below, if that makes any sense to you. So the next section I'm gonna teach you how to change color when the color is after. So we're gonna extend our blue further on to the green, and the green is gonna be way back here. How do we get it over here? I'm gonna show you that in lesson number 5. Well, this is lesson number 5, and lesson number 5 is about changing the color when the color underneath has already started but you're not going to continue. So for example, we come across here and all of a sudden we go up, but we're not gonna move back to this color until after this color has already started. So lesson number 4, it was about this color starting prior. This lesson number 5 is about the color starting after, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. Now, so here's an example. What we have is coming across just like so, and the color that we want is over here. So in actual fact we're missing 2. So this color, when we stopped on last time, it's over here, but in the new one we need to have it up here. So I'm going to show you that next. So let's begin, and I'm going to show you, I'm just gonna start the single crochets going across, and this is about changing the color. So basically the green, you can see it from behind, has stopped right here, but what happens if the green is further on over? Even if it's just 1 over, it makes a huge difference if you carry your yarn and you bury it. So I'm just gonna go 2 extra just for the sake. You do this even if it's just 1 extra, just to be keeping it clear with you. And so for example, this is where I want to change it. Right now when I go to change the green, I want to make sure that I'm gonna show you it the wrong way. So I'm gonna pull forward first, and then I'm just gonna immediately grab the green and finish it, and then I'm going to start the next. This is doing it the wrong way. Now I did a whole project like this, so just so you know, so it's not just me. So basically it looks okay right now and everything is looking decent. The problem is when you turn it around, you can see that you carried the yarn. It doesn't make any sense. So down here I made an error, on purpose of course, and I'm just showing you that what happens if you carry the yarn incorrectly, it will show just like how you did here. So let me reverse back to where I changed the green and show you how to do it properly. So we have our blue back in, and what I want to do is that I want to reverse the blue right back out to where that green started. So now this time, as soon as I come up, I want to begin to start burying the yarn. So I'm just gonna go immediately into this blue one here and finish it. But what I want to do now is that I want to grab this one here, this green, and I want to bury it underneath some stitches in order to get it to where I need it to go. So the next one that I want to do is that I want to make sure that I go into the stitch, but also into and put that straggler over top and bury it underneath, and I'm gonna just do 2 stitches. Okay, so now what you've done is you've moved the yarn over without any carryover. You can see, you don't see it there, you don't see it on either side, and so now I'm ready to begin to change the color to green. So I'm going to start the first one as normal. I'm going to move that yarn forward, and I'm going to pick up this straggler and finish it, or sorry, the other one, and finish it so that I'm ready for the green, just like so. So now what's happened is that you can see on both sides that I've carried the green over. You don't see that I've done it, but you have a nice clean line anyway. So this is how you would do it. So for example, if I was coming back and the green was maybe 1 over, I would still bury the yarn just for the 1 stitch, just so that you never ever see any kind of strings like this coming up out of your work. In actual fact, I have an example on Daniel's thing that I did where I missed it, and you can see that there's 2 strings that are out of alignment, actually 4. So this is where I never carried it because this is my practice sample, and I was thinking to myself, how do you get rid of that? And it's all about burying it underneath so that you don't see any stitches like that. And once I caught on to that method, you can see that at the top that there is no kind of strings like that at all, because I learned how to bury it regardless on what side that you were looking at when it comes to doing all of this. So this is how to change, or how to change the yarn color and carry it over when the yarn color is changing afterward.